Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you? I think you know how this works, but I do like to remind people this is not exact science. We communicate the best way we can. And if something doesn't make sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either see it later, remember it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later. Go, oh, I know what he's talking about. So, we're going to talk to your uncle today. He's coming in walking to the beat of drums. Sounds like you asked if he was there at your discharge. It's like cadence. It's not like drums like in a band. It's drums like because I don't know what kind of a discharge you had. He's not explaining why he's doing this. It's his show. He can show anything he wants to within reason. At the asking about the discharge, so I'm assuming that's what the drums have to do with. I'm assuming that at that moment, something about the moment somewhere around your discharge, whatever kind of discharge it was, I mean, that could be anything, that he actually crossed your mind. And you may not have physically had a tear because it almost doesn't feel like it was a physical tear, but it could have been. When he crossed your mind, there was a tear wanting to know if he was good, if he was proud of you. And I can feel the pressure of his hand. He had his hand on your shoulder, so it's like he's standing beside me. He has his hand on your shoulder. So I don't know if you could think back that far, and maybe you wouldn't have even noticed in the moment this warmth, this pressure, this could have been tingling. Everybody feels the energy different. I know I cannot ever say for sure how you will feel it. But he was standing there with his hand resting on your shoulder, like giving you the energy of love and peace and pride. Very proud of what you've become. He says you're an awesome young woman. And I will always be by your side. I will be one of your biggest, staunchest supporters in this world and the next. Carry on my wayward son, which is a song. Is it Journey, Kansas? One of the older bands back in my day. So I don't know if he's referring to this song or just that line. I know some of this sounds vague, but don't always know for sure what their reference is to it. But it should be just enough so you know what he's referring to, even though you're not a son. He says, so what do you hear? What do you think you hear? You hear him. You've thought you heard him. The way the way he's showing it, he said your name. I'm asking him something. Hang on. He's not telling me exactly where you were at. I almost feel like you were in a store. And You thought you heard his voice say your name, and you did. We also have not psychic ears, what is it always? Telepathic ears. We have telepathic ears up here. Sometimes you hear it up here instead of here. That doesn't mean it's not true. And yes, as far as talking to him in your head, you don't have to talk to him out loud. He can hear you. You can talk to him without moving your lips. I have talked to a real life person right in front of me. We talk telepathically, but she's really good. And I didn't believe it till I saw the video, and I thought, that conversation is not on video. So it is totally possible. So talk to him all you want to. Nobody else needs to hear you. So he's trying to show me something. Hang on. Okay, so I was asking him about signs, and I'm not sure how to take this because I can't quite tell what it is. When I say this is not an exact science, I do mean that. It's like there's something hovering right here. It's like maybe I can't tell that it's a hummingbird, but it's kind of like the way hummingbirds would kind of hover, and it's kind of not sitting still. So I'm going to say it's a hummingbird. I can't see it clear enough, and it's right. And shoot, it's about time for the hummingbirds to be gone. Well, it is in Kansas anyway. I think I heard mine out there chirping a minute ago, though. I think they're still here for a minute. So he says yes. So I don't know if you've had a hummingbird lately bombard you or just hang around. One time at the place that I go to, I was kind of in a bad needing a sign type of spot, and I said, man, I really need a sign. And this hummingbird came out of nowhere and came right in front of my face and kind of for a minute and took off. Never seen, maybe twice have I ever seen a hummingbird there, ever. So it's not a normal place for one to be. So no, also hummingbirds. If you happen to be watching a movie and a hummingbird is in the movie, you see it on a picture walking through Walmart, and you feel like your head turns and there's a hummingbird there, or on Facebook you see a picture of a hummingbird. Just any of those that are just random and they catch your attention, that's a sign. That'll be a sign from him. He's talking about Cheerios and Fruit Loops, which are basically the same thing to me. Only one of them's fruitier, I guess. Fruity Cheerio. And it could be he's acknowledging that you guys like to eat them together. You just had some. You just bought some. You were just hungry for some. He's trying to validate something. He's talking about the shuffle of feet like an old man wearing slippers. But he's talking about you and him. I don't know if you work around older people, if you've got an older person in your home. They're showing like the old house shoes and this older person shuffling the feet, but it's not about the older person. It's about the sound of the feet. Don't know why he's referring to that from him to you. Just keep that in mind. You should hear that. I don't know if he was ill towards the end and maybe he wore slippers, but he's making it. My hummingbird's chirping. I just heard it. They're awful noisy for little bitty tiny birds, but they're my favorite. Alright, he's singing a song. It's an old song. Hang on. Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, he's singing Where Have All the Flowers Gone by Peter, Paul, and Mary. That's way back in my day, but that's usually the songs they refer to, because if they referred to a modern one now, I'd probably go, yeah, I don't know that one. So go Google, YouTube, whatever, that song, and there's probably something in the words for you, because he wouldn't be singing it if there wasn't. He says, thank you for thinking of me. He said, you were more like my little sister than my niece. And I loved you very much. And I still do. He says, tell her I love her. Tell her I love her. I worship her. I'm more proud of you than you could possibly know. You have fought through a lot. And you still do. The struggle is real, but you can kick its ass. Something was harrowing, like he's using the word harrowing like frightening. There was something that was horrible. Kick its ass. Don't let it get the best of you. Because it will be worth it in the end. Pride. Keep your pride. And remember, I am always proud of you. Love never dies. He said the word beach, but it was like beachum, beachman, beach. It was like, I don't know if he's trying to say a name. We stinking names. I haven't had to say that for a while. I've asked him not to give me names anymore because we stink at names. I don't know why. But it's like beachman, or he makes me feel like it's a name, so stretch it outside the box a little bit if you have to. Beecham, Beachman, Beechwood, just so I don't know if it's the name of a person, name of a street, name of a town. I don't know. He's not saying. He says person. Don't know if he's trying to acknowledge somebody down here still, or some. He's not saying. I swear these guys. Give me more details. Polish your craft. Polish your craft. C-R-A-F-T. So your craft could be doodling. Your craft could be painting. Your craft could be dancing. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't have to be like a paying job or some major thing. But he says polish your craft. So whatever your craft is that makes your heart sing, or something that you really want to do, even if other people think it's crazy or you don't think you have time for it, he wants you to work on it. Polish it. Don't look behind you. Look in front of you and figure out how you're going to use what was behind you to make what's in front of you better. Change the outcome. He says, if you don't understand now, you will understand soon what he's talking about. And he pops up and he goes, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Don't forget I'm listening. He says, how courageous of you. I'm proud of you. And then he goes like this. He goes, I'm always waiting to lend you an ear. He's making me feel like if you talk to him, and let's say you're sitting in your living room alone, it doesn't have to be this exact thing. But let's say you're sitting in your living room alone, and you're kind of having a bad moment, and you're talking to him. Feel like you're going to hear the shuffle of those slippers. So, like I said, I don't know if he wore these slippers, but it feels like an old man type of shuffle. So, like I said, I don't know. Maybe he was sick in the end and he was moving slowly. Because I don't know how old you are either. He could have been an older man when he left. I don't like to creep anybody's Facebook page ahead of time. It messes up my little pea brain. He says, with that, I'm going to send you blessings, heartfelt love, hugs. And he goes like this, hugs. Kind of like he would give you a bear hug, like squeeze and wiggle the shit out of you. Kind of like, I'm going to squeeze you and hug you, and not just a soft little hug. Just remember I love you. We can make life tougher than it needs to be. Don't do that. Go with the flow. And with that, he's leaving. And for some reason, I felt like I needed to touch my nose when I said that. I don't have an itch. I just felt like I was supposed to rub my nose. So maybe you guys did that. Maybe you guys touched noses. He says if you're sitting in a crowd of people and you're having a moment, touch your nose. I'll be there. He says he's sending you oodles and gobs and buckets and barrels of love. And with that, he's leaving. Much love to you, my dear. Thank you for being patient. See you later. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. Later.